This is a small instructional video concerning the use of the Page Plus for the cambourne crier. Make sure you've got Page Plus started up, and then what you'd need to do is go along to Dropbox, and I'm sure you already know how to get to Dropbox, but what you do is you just bring that in. You'd go to your whatever the last month was. Let's say, like this is January's Page Plus files. If you're doing February's, you go to last month's, and then you'd find whichever particular file that you'd need. Let's say, I think this 29, so you'll need the Page Plus file itself, not the PDF, but the Page Plus file. You double click it, it'll give you a thing, says, oh, you can't preview, you need to download it. Once you download the file, with Page Plus already open, you click the file and it'll bring up that particular file. It may give you an error message, but makes no difference too much. Okay, you've got then the last month's file. What you'd need to do is you'd go to whatever document you've got. Let's say this one here. No, not this one. This one. I've got mine on email. Let's say the Cambourne United has sent you an email. So if I click over here for the cambourne crier, February crier. Let's see. Oh yeah. What I do with my crier things is, as soon as I get the file that I want, I put it into a separate folder under crier stuff, and then I can find it by the date or the month. You look at the new piece of text they send you. You highlight that text, making sure you just get the text they want you to print and not just like the additional pieces at the front or the back. You just copy that, go into this, go back into the, let me scroll out a little bit there. Highlight this text, but not all of it. Leave it like at least a word left over from last time, so that way it keeps the formatting. You right click, paste special as unformatted text. Then you click OK. It will keep the correct spacings, as you see over here. That's 120%. That's what it's supposed to be. Or 120%. And then, of course, make sure you go back afterwards and delete the additional word. For the title, of course, the main title, you just basically read through whatever the text you've got is, and then that will give you an idea of what to entitle it. You could entitle, it could be Cambourne United, gets, and then just add more words, or it could be something completely different. That's up to you, depending on what the text is. Could be something like that. Makes no difference. But as you see, you've pasted in this text, but you've got still more text there because this little red line here says it's got overflow. Well, next thing you do is you'll, if you don't have overflow, or if you do, you still need to change out the picture. Now, with the email that I was sent, it has an image attached. You save that image to whatever folder you're using for your crier stuff. Then you would right-click on the current photo, replace picture. And as you can see, I've got under my documents something for the crier editorial for 2019 for February, and I've saved that picture as the CUFC JPEG. It was image 1, but you can just rename it, or you can do, name it whatever you like. It doesn't matter. If you click on it, it has an image there. Make sure this thing here is clicked where it says embed picture. That's very, very important. Otherwise, if it's linked, you'll see it, but nobody else will. If you click on embed, it actually goes into the document. So you click on open then, and it changes it, but it looks really weird because it's not formatted correctly because it was a different photograph. So right click and go to PhotoLab. Once you get into PhotoLab, go to the crop tool. That will give you the whole photograph that you can then edit from there. What I usually do is I take out, some of the additional sky, because it's people that we're really interested in with these photographs. You get highlighted whatever you need. Get whatever you need in the box. You go over here, click that little green check mark, and that'll give you a photograph. If that's pictured correctly and if it's lit okay, then that's fine. I mean, this PhotoLab does have adjustments for brightness. Let's cancel it. But I usually don't use any of those or any of these things because it tends to not make it quite as good. Let's not do the filters. And that's the photograph, but as you see, it's still wonky. What you do, just bring it to the middle and adjust it so that it looks more normal. Yeah, it looks a bit more normal. So it doesn't matter what size it is when it looks normal. Then you drag it by the corner to resize. Doesn't matter which corner, until you can see the end of the text. You can tell it's the end of the text because when you click inside the text boxes here, these 3 columns, that little red mark for overflow doesn't show up. Now obviously this isn't in a good place. Oops. If you make a mistake like that and you shift out the wrong thing, hold down Control and hit Z once. That'll undo the last action. Just make sure you click the photograph and you move that around. And if you find you move it around, it kind of doesn't have the right stuff, you just shift it here, there, wherever it happens to be. Sometimes it's nice if it just fills one column completely, if it's kind of a squarish piece or a long piece like a portrait, but oftentimes it's not. You can put it, many different places. Oh look, see, I've got that overflow again, so I'll need to again click that and just adjust slightly. Just to see a slight adjustment gave me the space I needed again. In fact, it gave me a little bit more space than I needed. But something like that. You can play around this, that, and the other. Now, also, um, under here, let's see, over here I've got frame columns. At the moment it's set to 3. If you need 2 columns, boom, you click the 2, and that's what it's got. Oh, actually that's 2's not bad. Oops, that's Control Z that. 2 isn't bad at all, actually. If I did that and then that, oh, yeah, actually that works a little better. Yeah. I've already edited this page once, but I may go back again and change this to 2 because that does, or I may just leave it. Depends on what Tim wants. But you know, you can change it from 2 columns to 3 columns. Makes no real difference. What does make a difference, though, is the picture itself. Make sure the picture is selected. Right-click on it. Go down to Properties. There's 2 things you can check in here. One, you check the Resource Manager. That will tell you if the photo is embedded. See, I've got 3 different photos that I'm dealing with on this page. This one I've got, and the other 2 for the Taekwondo, but this is the one I'm dealing with. The placement, make sure it says embedded, not linked. If it says linked, then it's not going to show up when you send the file. But it's embedded, so that's fine. The other thing you do, under the properties, is size and resolution. This is the important part. At the moment, the resolution is somewhere between web and print. You don't want that. You want it all the way over to print. That gives you the best resolution, and it doesn't try and kind of squish down the file size. You want it at the highest resolution you can get it. So you click on OK. It'll resample it, and it'll put it in there, and it'll look much, much better. Now, the file itself is still named whatever the last month's file was. What you can do, once you get the item the way you want it, this isn't too bad. Yeah, just a little bit bigger. Yeah, that's not too bad at all. If you get it looking the way you want it, then you would save the file, of course. You'd file, but you'd save as. And then you would want to go to whatever folder it is that you've got to put your crier stuff in. 2019 February. Now it's listed as January 2019 29 here. You would just take the Jan and swap it out for February. But as you see, I've already got February here because I've already done this page once. But then you just normally click on Save, and then you save it to your own hard drive. And then what you would do is, once that's all good to go, you would close your Page Plus. I'm not going to save this one because I've already got it saved. Then you would open up back into the Dropbox. Let's go back one and then back another one. You'd look to see if anyone else has put in things for February. And if they haven't put anything in for February or whatever month it happens to be, just create a new folder. I've already created this folder. You double click on it, and then you would just drag whatever file you've got into here. Just drag, drop, should be good to go. Um, and if you did some more work on a file and you wanted to put it in again, just still drag and drop it. It will replace the previous file, and you shouldn't have any difficulty with that. But yeah, the important thing is making sure you get the resources correct, making sure that it's embedded, making sure that the photographs are all the way over to print. Um, and if you just, like I said, you paste in the new text as unformatted text, it will keep the same spacing as the last one. And hopefully that helps you out a little bit with that. If you have any other questions, let me know. We'll see what we can get done. Thank you so much for your time. Let's click